But I did want to start here for a bit on talking about the new version of CK3, the 1.6 Castle update, as well as the Fate of Iberia flavor pack that is out now. So that is going to be what we're going to be focusing on for this stream here, at least for the first part of it. I'm not sure how long we'll keep with this. We might switch to a different game for the second half of the stream. But we'll see for now. That kind of didn't end up happening with Stellaris. But let's see here. So first off, we're going to switch on over to display capture, which I have actually working now. I mean, there's a bit of an HDR issue, so it's a little overbright, but that's okay for now. What we're going to do for now is we're just going to look at the patch notes. Exciting, exciting patch notes. So let's see here. Okay, here we go. So these are the flavor pack features. So this is the stuff that is in the paid pack. The Iberian Struggle, deciding the fate of the Peninsula. The struggle is divided into phases, each opening unique opportunities and leading to unique endings. Use the new content, interactions, casus belli, and decisions to dominate the peninsula or to find a more peaceful alternative. They've added a new set of Iberian artifacts. Okay, that's cool. So a crown, armillary sphere is just there. I think that's an artifact. That's also a tech, but I'm pretty sure that's an artifact. The thing that most people are excited about, chess. Excellent. New models for the cities and castles of Iberia, new models for the Christian and Muslim temples in Iberia, and a new set of special buildings on the map. Those are all neat. So, I mean, this is a flavor pack, right? It's supposed to flesh out playing in this region, and it looks like it does that. I've never actually played in Iberia in CK3, so this could be kind of interesting. But the free features are then down here. I'm not going to go through, like, all of the balance changes and the content updates and things like that. We might take a quick look at the balance changes here, but the free features, rather, you can now convert to Era Zaharic when you're an established Basque-cultured sinner in your current faith. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what that means, but we can find that out. Several faiths can now have the same head of faith. Several Islamic faiths now share a head of faith at game start. Temporal Islamic faiths need to decide on creation which existing caliph they'll submit to. Well, that sounds like that will not be a controversial decision at all for those people. Excellent. And multiple religions start with the Pope as their head of faith. So it's actually pretty cool that you can have the same head of faith. I like that. That's neat. They also added the right tenet, allowing theocratic faiths to retain their old head of faith on creation if they don't differ too heavily from their mother faith. Added Mozarabic Christianity as a right faith, sharing their head of faith with Catholicism. Reworked the Found Aragon decision. Okay, reworked Avenge the Battle of Tours. It now shifts Aquitaine under the de jure of Hispania when taken, as it's hard to accomplish. Okay. Interesting. Reworked the Form Portugal decision. Yep, it can be taken during the opportunity phase of the struggle. Added new special contracts for clans. Added a new faction type. Added... Actually, the Disillusion faction, I should know about that, will destroy the primary titles of their target, removing a realm from the map. Well, that's a spicy faction. Okay. Added a new 867 bookmark for Iberia. I did see that when I opened up the game earlier. Let's see here. A dozen of new emblems. Okay, that's an interesting way to phrase that, but sure. A dozen of new emblems for coat of arms, and new patterns for Iberian cultures, and a new field face item for the barbershop to, well, customize the character's face. Okay, let's take a real quick look at the game balance here, and there's some game content changes that have happened, as well as some AI changes. We'll more feel out the AI changes than anything else. But the game balance changes real quick here. Insular Christians now have the right tenet. Okay. Remove blockers to invite close/extended family children from foreign courts. They still have to accept. This is actually handy. I'm pretty interested in that. Tribals with a royal court are no longer penalized for having too few servant amenities when hunting. Well, that's good. That's really, really good. Characters will now evaluate their friendship with opponent when answering a call to war from an ally. So if you're friends with the opponent, they won't fight them. Interesting. Martial custom is now once again dictated by faith if the royal court expansion is not enabled. Well, we have that enabled, so that's not relevant. Okay, this looks like nothing too major here, but that's the basic new features. So let's hop back over into the game here. And we can see this is the leader of the Bizarro Ottomans. If we tried to load this, things would break. The Bizarro Ottomans export mod is, of course, created for 1.5. We're not going to do that. We're going to start ourselves up a new game here. And this is the 867 start point for Iberia that they added. So you can see here the struggle for Iberia. The old powers of Iberia are breaking. In the north, Asturias is rife with ambitious vassals, straining to be free. Oh my, free. In the south, Al-Andalus waxes strong, but faces rumblings of discontent. The border military districts mutter about independence, and intrigue plagues the ruling Umayyads. Hungry foreign powers eye Iberia's rich lands covetously. Centuries in the making, the Iberian struggle enters a new phase, and whether it ends in blood or brotherhood lies on a roll of the dice. Okay, so we could go for any of these if we wanted to, or we could create our own. We're going to go with not one of the... Well, we might go with a bookmark start, but we're not going to immediately choose a bookmark start here. Let's just hop into the map and see what Iberia looks like. So what do we got here? Okay. That's exciting. Al-Andalus is very large, and it is currently at war. We can see that, what type of war is this? Can we see the war from here? Maybe not. We can see that these guys are rebelling, though. So, fair enough. We've got Asturias up here, being all, you know, Catholic and Asturian. We've got Navarra over here as well, a possible ally for Asturias. I don't know how exactly that would work out. Like I said, I've never really played in Iberia before. And then we've got just these bunch of little guys over here. And these are that new Christian faith. And there's that, hang on. Let's open... Nope. Let's open that. There we go. Okay, this is the new tenant here. New faiths keep their old head of faith on creation. Opinion of same faith +5. Head of faith opinion -10. Faith creation and reformation cost -25. Okay. So it's pretty good at reforming. Sounds good. So all of these guys down here would be pretty easily taken over by either Asturias or Al-Andalus. Al-Andalus is, like, I was going to say maybe the less interesting part, the less interesting role here. How about Burgess? Can you play as the small guys? Probably. And yes, I know that chat is not visible right now. It will be visible soon, for the record. Let's see. Navarra, we could go for. But you were saying Burgess. I mean, we could try it. I don't promise that we'll, you know, succeed too much. We can see how it goes on. I've never played here before. I have no idea what to expect in Iberia. So we'll see how that ends up going. We can definitely try this, though. We've got people asking to play as the small guys and as Burgess specifically. So we could try this. This guy is 35, and he is Andalusian in culture. So Andalusian culture uses the Arabic language, Iberian heritage, different heritage from your culture. Interesting. Andalusian aesthetics, of course. Men only martial to start with. That's fairly typical. Hit and run tacticians. That's fairly good for being a small guy. Really. Okay. Expert artisans. So building construction cost reduction. Malleable subjects. Different cultural opinion +10, no negative opinion of other cultures, and vassal levy contribution +25%. That's pretty good. Ritualized friendship there, scheme power against friends and best friends. Oh, okay. Automatically has access to befriend schemes as well. Interesting. Vassals of this culture do not consider differing faith or culture when joining factions. That's a potential yikes. And commanders are likelier to gain commander traits, and that's pretty good. May always challenge other characters to board games. Cool. Everybody gets +2 martial, -2 prowess, +10% movement speed. Yeah, that's not bad at all. This guy starts as stubborn, temperate, and vengeful. And this is his house. I don't think he has anything in his house. But we can go ahead and start this. He has a female heir who is currently 10 years of age. This could be interesting. So what is our immediate setup with like Asturias. Okay, so we can see the Iberian struggle here, and I just want to make sure that chat is working correctly. So let's turn that on here. There we go. There's going to be this bar up here that will go away in a bit. I have it elevated a bit higher than normal because of war declarations here. I know that there's going to be pop-ups over here. We'll see how that ends up interacting with it for now. I was thinking about maybe having it over on this side, but you know, there's all this, so we'll see. Never seen this game played before, says Ben. Well, now you have. I've got quite a few series of it on the channel, so if you're interested, you can always watch those. So our current situation here, we have 430 for our strength. We do start with 100 bowmen and 100 pikemen. I mean, that's something. We are feudal to start with, so that also makes things a little bit, I was going to say complicated, like, it's kind of, at this stage of the game, it's kind of a 50-50 between whether I'd like to be feudal or tribal, right? But I also want to take a look over this way. Yeah, I mean, we've got the East Francia, Lotharingia, West Francia going on over here. They could absolutely head in this way. We could also have, like, Abbasid spread over this way. Like, I know quite a few CK2 starts, Abbasid already controls most of Iberia. So that's going to be exciting. Absolutely exciting. I think I am going to end up adjusting the chat a little bit here. Let's just bring the top crop down about like that. There we go. That's all I'm going to do for now, I promise. So, what are we going to end up doing first? First thing I would like to do is... Oh. That's an interesting option. Purchase truce. Negotiate a preemptive truce with King Alfonso in exchange for gold. So this is like a Danegeld sort of scenario. Fascinating. There's also contract assistance. This is also new. Challenge to board game is new. He is currently at war. He is actually attacking Al-Andalus at the very beginning of the game. So that might buy us some breathing space to clean up some of this territory over here. Do we start with CBs? We have a struggle clash. That costs us piety because we're in the opportunity phase. We don't have much piety, so there's that. We vassalize the contested title, destroying any titles that the holder has that are equal or higher tier than your own. So because we're count level, we would end up destroying the count title? I don't think is that even possible? No, you can't destroy a count level title. Presumably, we would just simply take the count level title. I think that's what's going to be going on there. So we'll come on in over here. This guy is definitely somebody that we could theoretically defeat. I do want to... Let's see, we've got pikemen here. We're countering light cavalry, heavy cavalry, camel cavalry, and elephant cavalry with those. And our archers are countering skirmishers. I wouldn't mind picking up, like, perhaps some light footmen. Although they're not going to have any heavy infantry around here. That's okay. That's not going to be a thing. I just binged your active KSP series. Gotta say I love them. Going to start in on your Crusader King series. Any recommendation on where to start watching from? So we have two series going on right now. The Ottoman series is a mega campaign, and that started with Imperator Rome, that we then imported in. So that is definitely something to consider when starting that series. The Pax Scandinavia series is completely standalone. So if you want to watch a current series, that would probably be the one to go for, I would say, if you're not going to watch the Imperator series first. So looking at this guy here, yeah, I'm not super happy with this chat box location, if I'm honest. Maybe move it, like, up here? I don't know. No, because then we've got this. Crusader Kings is kind of awkward. Maybe, like, smack in the center, actually, now that I think about it. Because we've got this over here that then, if we go into... something like what are the ones? Well, these open over here. We've got something like this, right? So if we had it like down in bottom center, that might actually be okay. So let me change that. I'll get happy with this chat box location eventually. So this should be like, I think, this is not going to be quite correct. Right around here ish. Yeah, it needs to be a little further over. That would be like 360 over. Yes. So like 1560 approximately. Maybe a little further. We'll take it a little further over and we'll put it like, yeah, there-ish. That's maybe a bit too far. We can try that. I don't know that I'll be super happy about that. Yeah, that's pretty decent. It's okay, I think. We'll see if that feels fine. Maybe lower the height of it a little bit, I suppose. I really need to get to the point where I'm happy with this. I'll get there eventually. So we'll just crop off, I don't know, like another 100 pixels off the top, make it a little less obtrusive. Yeah, that should be okay. So I'm reasonably happy with that for now. So we've got the struggle advice here. That is a prolonged conflict within a region where the actions of all participants will change the state of the area, establishing different phases. The changes in the start of the region will come with effects to war, faith, and culture. Ultimately, all participants compete to be the one to decide how the struggle ends, affecting all participants in the region. We've got 10 pages of this? Oh my. Okay. Yeah, we see that, and I saw the progress bar here. So our next phase is going to be hostility, followed by conciliation. Okay. So we're currently in the opportunity phase, and that affects war. Fabricating claims cost prestige instead of gold. Wars within the struggle region cost less prestige. Unlocks border raid, contract assistance, and bargain fealty. Okay. I didn't see bargain fealty. This is swear fealty, which we don't necessarily want to do here. Yeah, we don't want to do this, but that option is available. So it's marked within a new border, which highlights if you hover over the struggle button. So you can see here, this is the entire, like, Iberia region. Cool. So what else do we have here? The struggle view. Yeah, we opened this. Fantastic. What do we got in here? That's the struggle involvement. We are involved. Current phase is opportunity. These are the phase effects. View ending decisions. You cannot end the struggle currently. So you have to do these to fulfill it. You do not fulfill all of the requirements here. Okay. We don't fulfill the requirements. I'm not sure what they are. It didn't say in the tooltip, but that's fine. You can view potential next phases and catalysts you need to complete to drive the struggle towards them. Okay, so break a truce with an involved ruler, reveal the secret of an involved ruler, blah, 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 just all these various things. These are all things that will increase the progress towards the hostility phase. Okay, very interesting. What else do we got here? Current struggle phase impacts the whole struggle region. Yes, you can inspect the phase effects to war, faith, culture. We already saw that. It will come to an end when the next phase reaches 1,000 progress. Yes, that makes sense. And we already looked at the ending decisions here. Keep in mind that it requires you to be in a specific phase to trigger them. You'll be notified if one of them is available. Okay. And you can trigger catalysts with the struggle involvement here. Okay. And this box can be moved around. Good to know. So these are the involved, and these are the interlopers. So we've got a guy from Gothia, and we've got a guy from Kalat Ayub that are interlopers in this struggle. Cool. Or you can be uninvolved. So those are the three statuses. If you're, like, de jure part of the territory, you're involved. If you're not, but you're trying to get in, then you're an interloper, I would guess. Yeah. Interlopers have their capitals within the struggle region, or they're unlanded there, but do not have both an involved faith and involved culture. Okay, so they're still within the struggle region, but that's like a cultural or religious invasion. Got it. Okay, that seems straightforward enough. Fascinating. So we need a lifestyle here. We have a stewardship education. I think that stewardship lifestyle here is probably an objectively terrible idea. Like, we're making very little cash. Technologically, we have a few things here. Oh yeah, caballeros. Okay stats for light cavalry in this period. Not too bad. Mots are currently being exposed, and we are currently fascinating currency. Crop rotation is already done. We may want to go for barracks. We're not the cultural head, though, so we can't really do anything with that. That's fine. So we definitely don't want to go with stewardship, I think. And the reason for that is because we know that we can... Actually, I want to see... We can buy and request claims. That's the thing we could do previously. Hello, foment revolt. That's a new option. A random county would gain peasant outrage. And this would be peasant riots. So that's 25 gold, 75 gold, 200 gold. We're not going to do this right now, but that's quite effective, actually. Fascinating. So that's an option there, but we need to figure out what we need to do in order to start expanding, right? We can do a border raid for 50 faith and 38 prestige. You gain gold in proportion to the development of the target county, which will decrease. Okay, so this is like pillaging the county in Europa. That's probably not what we want to do here. What I'm actually interested in doing is vassalizing this county. So we would need piety for that. To that end, we can go into our decisions. And we could go on a pilgrimage. Now, pilgrimages are expensive. And cash is definitely a bit of a problem right now. We could just try to YOLO it and see what happens. They technically have slightly more troops than we do. However, they are bowmen and light horsemen. We have pikemen. We counter their light horse. The bowmen are not countered on either side. The light horse would be countered. So we can probably fight this guy if we had the piety. To that end, we could go for learning and go into, I don't know, like a theology focus to try to generate as much piety as possible. I'm just wondering if we were to go against like Asturias here, hypothetically. There's a Reclaim Relics War. That would be prestige. Struggle Clash in this situation is prestige. And is that because, let's see, they are Catholic. We are Mazarabic. Mazarabic? I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce that, but they're this. So if it's the same religion, it's going to cost us piety. If it's a different religion, then it's going to cost us prestige. Got it. So all of these little guys are the same religion as us. So it's all going to cost piety if we want to annex these guys. Now, defending against Asturias in the war for Vimara's claim on Portugal. Okay. And this is a frontier district rebellion. Well, that's new. So who do we expect to win here? Probably all Andalus, except for the small problem that Asturias is also attacking him. He might be pulled apart from that. In which case, we could theoretically think about attacking Asturias. This would get all of the border counties. Now, we don't want to do this right now. That is for sure. In that case, well, most of Iberia in the struggle region is going to be Ashari. Navarra is Catholic. Asturias is Catholic. So we would need... How much total is this? 150? 150 piety. So we need 300, 600, 900 total piety to get through this. I feel like that's not worth going into learning, and we should probably go into diplomacy here. Possibly into something along the lines of majesty focus to build up our prestige. That would also allow us to go into forced vassalage if we so desired. That might be a bit cheaper for us. And also ducal conquests might be better for us too. So we could go majesty focus here. This is normally an action that I would take in a tribal society in this early game. So that's definitely interesting. Normally, I would not do too much majesty focus outside of going to forced vassalage as a feudal ruler. But we might sit here for a while because we're going to have a lot of prestige that we need. So that's very interesting. We are not currently endorsed by our bishop, and I highly doubt that we have free investiture. Let's see if that's the case. Yeah, we don't. Okay. That's fairly understood. This guy is not happy right now. How much gold would he potentially... Well, do we have church holdings? We do. Of course we do. We're feudal. We have this bishopric and we have this city. So he would be able to give us something from this bishopric, but it's very little, in all honesty. So we could work on constructions, but I think right now expansion is the way to go. The main issue for the moment is that we're lacking in our piety. That said, we can always go on a pilgrimage, but it's going to cost us a lot. That's going to be tough. We can't raid either, can we? No. Is there anything that we can do within the struggle specifically that would make us money? I don't think so. Mercenary hire cost minus 30%, I suppose. No, I feel like we just need to tick forward at this point. Okay, so the Iberian Struggle has popped up. It is a very, very large event all the way across the screen. Okay. The Iberian Peninsula is in turmoil, a conflict born of its storied past. Outsiders covet the land, and the great Muslim and Christian powers seek to sway its people. But those who live and die on its soil will ultimately determine its fate. I will not let slip my vision for my homeland. By God, House Bergusid will weather the storm and see my will fulfilled. We are involved participants in the Iberian Struggle. The region is currently in a phase of opportunity, yes, and our actions and those of other participants will determine the future phases of the struggle and its ending. So we'll see how this ends up going. Asturias is, of course, busy, but we need to take forward here because at this point, if we were to go into debt and go on a pilgrimage, that would, of course, be a bit of a problem for us. Our wife is set to assist ruler. It doesn't really matter here what we put her on, I think, but we're going to go for chivalry and hope for a few more extra soldiers. Our marshal is on organized army. That's fine. Foreign affairs is where the chancellor's at, and yeah, that's where we want him to be. Our bishop is currently doing religious relations. Again, that's where we want him to be. Why is our income so low here? Oh, we're vengeful. Okay, that'll do it. We're collecting taxes, and I feel like that's okay. Not really a problem there. Yep. Nothing really to be done. So at this point, we just need to tick forward and attempt to get what we need to actually do something. So we're going to go up to speed 4. Actually, I just thought of something. I mean, I'm almost certain that this guy would not be willing to do something along the lines of this. Yeah, there's absolutely no way. The matrilineal marriage is just out of the question. We have a daughter. We do not have a son. So that will make things a little bit complicated for us. Okay. Viking cheese. We lose 15 gold and 5 stress, or we can send our agents out to find the cheese Vikings. I've not seen this event before. Okay. I stop at a roadside stall selling some simple foods. The trader, Tarek, plies me with different wares before reaching below the stall and bringing out a carved wooden box. For you, my liege, this is the finest cheese in all the realm. He pushes a small block into my hand, leans in, and whispers conspiratorially, it was crafted by cheese-making Vikings here in Iberia. Despite the bizarre comment, the cheese is incredibly good. So, we could see if we could find the cheese Vikings. I haven't watched CK3 since the start of the Mongol Empire series. What have I missed in terms of new features? I mean, we went over the new features in the beginning of this stream. You can rewind to that if you want to see. But overall, this is mostly just a flavor pack fleshing out Iberia. There's not a huge amount of overall changes to the overall mechanics of the game at this time. That said, the struggle mechanic is an interesting one, and I suspect that we're going to see other struggles coming out in other regions as time goes on. So yeah, I mean, we're definitely in a slightly awkward situation here cash-wise, and, well, just generally resource-wise. We could get 15 gold and an aged cheese artifact, or we could get 35 prestige. At this time, that gold is so much more valuable to us. So we do have aged cheese here. It gives us a small boost to our health, but an attraction opinion, -5. Wonderful. Oh, and in terms of new features from the Mongol Empire series, the inventory artifacts was something from the last patch, that, and just the general royal court. That's going to be a pretty major new feature there. But, I mean, that doesn't really interact that much with the overall game. It's just fairly minor things. You're late, you missed out on the chat box resizing. It was fairly minimal. It was fairly minimal this time. I'm trying to get those more settled. Okay, so we see the Pamplonan army here. Still 1570 strength here. We're not willing to attack Asturias at this time. We may be willing a bit later on. So basically the irons we have in our fire right now. If this guy gets completely wrecked by Al-Andalus, the plan is to do a struggle clash for these three, like this. That'll cost us 540. We're not that far away from that in terms of prestige. We may be able to, like, call a hunt to get that quickly. We could eat our cheese. That's actually hilarious. The longer the cheese has aged, the more stress you will lose when eating it. Can you repair your cheese? Aged cheese is already at max durability, but yes, you'll be able to repair the cheese. So this might be some incredibly aged cheese. Oh, I like it. That's going to be great. So we're very resource poor right now. That's the main problem. The chat box resizing today was minimal. Yes, absolutely it was minimal. This is flashing. Why is this flashing? Oh, because progress is happening. Okay. So they're actually working towards conciliation. Huh. Well, I'm not sure how much I like that, but we'll see how that goes. So the Asturian War is already over. Well, he got out of that very quickly. Okay, so that means that our plan is probably to come and attack down over here. We're definitely going to have a bit of a slow start. Oh, and I wanted to check, how much did he want for this truce? Oh, that's not bad. 50 gold for a 10-year truce? 100 gold for a 25-year truce? I mean, that's far more efficient. That's interesting. I don't want that right now, but that is definitely an interesting option. I would love to attack this guy. Now, that said, a border raid might... You gain gold in proportion to the development of the target county, which will decrease. That might not be a terrible concept. We could go after, like, this guy and try border raiding. Now, a building may also be destroyed. I don't think they have any buildings. No, they don't have any. But a building could be destroyed. Hold up. That's actually a huge deal. Even if it's random, a building being able to be destroyed. I mean, you can replace buildings, but it's not like, for example, if you were able to raise a holding, like, for example, if you were able to make this go back to being empty, that would be an even bigger deal. But being able to destroy their buildings is a pretty big deal. But it's completely random and uncontrollable, right? So I want to look at this guy. He's got only bowmen. So we don't really counter his army in the same way. So maybe what we should do... We could work on befriending one of these. Another potential option here. This guy just had a son. We could arrange a marriage between him and our player heir. Well, he's still not okay with the matrilineal marriage. Presumably, it's either a cultural thing, where they're always not going to be okay with a matrilineal marriage, or it might also be that this guy is just too high in the line of succession. I'm not sure which that is. This is a Castilian culture. It's hard to say. We might be able to find that out a little later on. Now, concubines are not a thing, and our wife is 31. We would like to have a male child. That would be ideal, but it's not necessarily going to happen. We'll proceed here for the moment, and I would like it a lot if we were actually able to fight Asturias. They also have the allied military strength because they're allied to Navarra. Another thing we could potentially do there's no way he would allow this. It would be really, really funny if we were to arrange marriage here and do this. There's absolutely no way that he would ever allow it. That would be amazing. But yeah, there's no way. We already knew that. We could just get an alliance with Asturias, though, and use them. So, hypothetically, if we were to do that, we would do an arranged marriage here. I don't know if he would accept even this. Not our player heir. We would want our other daughter. This daughter here. Something like this. Yeah, he still wouldn't accept that because he doesn't want an alliance. He doesn't want to marry down. Those are the two primary reasons there. His own marriage. What? Oh, it's because this would be his own marriage. I was like, wait, he's not married. But no, that's fine. Okay. It's going to be a slow start. I think that's definitely true. Our wife encouraged chivalry. Good for her. Now, one thing we could do is have her swap off of chivalry over into either managed domain or patronage. She's really bad at patronage. She's pretty bad at managing domain as well. What are divorce rules? We would have to request a divorce from the Pope, so we require papal dispensation for that, and that's going to cost 100 piety. That's just not worth it. So we could swap her to managed domain. That would mean that that would come in as cash. The other option would be patronage to have it come in as piety. She's bad at both, but she's also pretty bad at, martial. So I think we'll go to managed domain for the moment for the cash, because that will allow us to go on a pilgrimage to create piety, which will allow us to declare on this gentleman. In theory. In theory. So what else are we going to think about doing while we are waiting for these resources to pile up for us? I mean, basically everything here costs cash. We can always eat our cheese, but that's a terrible concept. So how much is a very long pilgrimage? An exceptionally long pilgrimage right now is 175 gold. Okay. We're not going to do it right now, and I was never planning to do it right now. A struggle catalyst has been triggered by King Alfonso. Become either best friends or soulmates with an involved ruler. Okay, so one thing we may want to actually do is work on a befriend scheme here, although we have no success chance because our rank is lower than his. So we could potentially go for... We should look at potentially getting ourselves an ally, I think. It'd be a lot easier if we had a male child. Because then we could do, something like this and have it be not matrilineal. Because if we go matrilineal, that's not going to work. But we could ally one of these guys with a male child. Like, for example, this guy here. We could simply ally him by having this daughter marry his heir. Like so. That gives us an alliance. And now we have enough troops to pretty easily take over some of this territory. I want to look at the de jure duchy titles here. Okay, that's actually perfect. That's on the de jure line right there. So we can just go after the Duchy of Castile. Fascinating. Okay, so with that being the case, we're now allied to this guy. We can pretty easily fight this guy. That said, we are lacking in the faith to do this, the piety. I would like to declare on this gentleman for the border raid. No titles will change hands, but we would gain gold in proportion to the development of the target county. I want to know how much gold we end up getting from a border raid, because this is still fairly expensive, right? If it's enough gold, though, then that would make it worthwhile to do, because then we would be able to spend the gold on a pilgrimage, which would gain us piety, which we would then be able to spend on creating the duchy by conquering this territory. So we're going to give this a go. And we can call in our ally. Never mind, we can't. We can't call in our ally for border raids. Well, that's exciting. I had no idea about that. That's going to be interesting. We can raise all of our troops here, and we'll see how this war goes. We don't actually counter any of their bowmen, but they don't really counter any of our troops either. So we're going to need to... Diplomacy lifestyle experience is always decent, but I would like to get prestige out of it. We'll gain dread, I guess. So they're going to walk over this way. Now, what we really want is something like this. They're going to walk into us on these hills. So we have a skill 12 commander here, and that's the best we've got. They have what skill? 25 is their commander advantage. That's a lot better than our commander advantage, which is 12. So you can see here, defending in hills, more commander traits. The chances are even. It kind of comes down to rolls. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's about what I expected. I expected to be able to call in our ally here. We may end up having to restart the game here, but that wouldn't be the biggest of deals. So they're going to walk in over here, and they're obviously going to win that. We can put this guy in charge, and we actually can't get out because we only retreated one province away. Okay, sure. Embrace God, and this will be your home. We're going to retreat when we can. There we go. No stack wipe for you. And he's going to start sieging our location here. Now, that's going to take him 11 months. We might actually be able to pull this off. We make this guy be our marshal, and this guy could be... Let's see, he's very bad at both of these jobs. Well, it's better than nothing, probably, I think. And we don't have anybody for that other slot. So I'm not surprised that we lost that battle. I was not expecting to be able to beat them on our own. I was expecting to be able to call in these guys. But now that I know that these border raids cannot actually have allies called in, that is good to know. We can restore our troops for a bit here, and they're going to be taking attrition while they siege. So we're going to come on in, not like this, but rather... ooh... So our bishop is telling us that our marriage with this countess is consanguineous in nature, and that is fairly convenient for us because we wanted to get rid of her anyway. So we're going to head off over this direction. We need a new wife, and we want one who is probably good at... I think stewardship, honestly. We go for, like, Elizabeth here. How old is she? She is 18? Yeah, that'll be fine. We would lose 100 prestige for this, but that's okay. So they're walking away and chasing us. And that's actually brilliant. I like it. Wait, do they have an ally? No. He hired mercenaries. Okay. Well, that's certainly awkward. There's no way that they're going to white piece here. And ticking war score from holding war target. Sure. We're going to head off over this direction. See if we can get some maneuvering done here. I'd be surprised. 75 gold. Okay. Again, we were not really... Hang on. These guys are hostile to each other. This fight might end up happening. Now, we can't deal with this mercenary band. That's true. I was definitely expecting being able to call this guy in. But it's fair enough. Now we know. We do need a steward, and we don't have anybody for that role. So they're walking up over this way. We're not going to walk into that capital just now. Okay. They're just chasing us for the time being. Now, ticking war score is on their side. This is absolutely in their favor. But if we can kite them over to this army. Contract assistance. My troops could be very useful in your conflict. We need only agree a price. If his contribution is at least 100 when the war ends, we pay 100 gold to him. I mean, we have some cash right now. We could do this. And they're going to walk into us here. But that's okay. If we get stack wiped here, that's fine. His troops are now going to come in. We're going to let him do all the work. And that does mean that we're going to end up paying him 100 gold. But that seems okay. So he's going to walk in over this way. And yeah, he's going to do the work. We don't need another person here. We definitely don't need more contract assistance. So he goes in. And he takes this over. So he wins this battle, and that'll pull the war score back a bit. And then hopefully he'll start sieging there. Yes. How long on that siege? Oh, war declared here. So who declared on us? Wait, what? Oh, that's the Duchy of Castile. Okay. That's very strange. So, I mean, ultimately, I think we're going to end up restarting this game. As I said, I didn't promise success from this start. Oh, I see. He annexed our ally. Okay. So yeah, we're going to end up restarting this, but now we know more of how this is going. So we're going to hop back to the main menu here. That's fine. Now I know more of what to expect. So we're going to start again playing as the same person. The real question now I have, actually, I shouldn't have restarted it quite yet. I wanted to know how much gold we made from the border dispute. But now we know a lot more, so there is that. I think that this time I might end up going for a stewardship focus and go for wealth focus. There we go. Okay, so that's definitely an important lesson learned on how that CB works, that's for sure. The Iberian Struggle, yes, we saw that previously. And there we go. So the next question becomes, when do we... Wait a second. He has substantially fewer troops this time, doesn't he? He does. Is that randomized? I thought that they had a static amount of troops to start with. But all he has is his light horsemen here. That almost makes me want to declare a struggle clash here, despite the fact that we would lose our devotion penalty down to a sinner level of devotion. Because I feel like we can just take this right off the bat at this point. We can give it a go. Yeah, let's do it. We're going to go down to a sinner. That's absolutely the case. I'm also interested to see if this Asturias war just goes away again. That'll be an interesting thing. Okay, so we raise this up, and we'll raise right here all of our troops. And let's see. So, yeah, we lose a level of devotion for this, but it's probably worthwhile. So we come on in over here, and we should easily win this time. I don't know why he, I think he disbanded one of his units there. I don't know. But we easily win it this time. Very strange. Now, it is possible that these guys could hire in someone else, another big boy. We now know that. So that's something to keep in mind. We need this siege to end up, or just rather to end, as soon as possible. Collecting war taxes, I don't think that's super important. We could cut non-essential supplies. Okay, we're undersupplied, but that's fine. Not too concerned about that. So he's going to come back and try to attack us over here. He's going to lose again. He just doesn't have the troops to pull this off. So we do need a new chancellor, and that would be this guy, but he's currently our marshal. And our marshal would be this guy, who is currently our chancellor. This is just going to be in circles. So we're going to make this guy be, he's our steward. We're going to make this guy, what is he good at? Spy master? No, he's good at learning. He's okay at marshal. We'll assign him over here, and then we'll move these guys around a bit. So this guy would need to be a marshal, like that. We swap these two. That gives us better stats here. So that's something, anyway. And I do think that I want to have our wife be on managed domain. Are her stats way better? Her stats are way better this time. I guess there's some randomization there. I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay, well, we could spend 100 piety. That's not really great. I do think that gaining 100 piety here is the way to go. So we do that. We start working our way out of the sinner category, but more importantly, we're positive in piety now. And this war will be over. There we go. We'll enforce those demands. We captured his son and heir there. We'll disband our troops. And, of course, control level is low here. So we're going to need to boost control. We'll go into our council and we can't boost control. Now we can. Just had to tick it. That's fine. There were no valid targets. Now there are. Okay, so that's definitely interesting. We have expanded this time. Looking at this guy, he's at 475. This guy is at 354. This is another pretty free attack, if I'm honest. Do we want to go that route of continuing to lose levels of devotion? That's going to be a pretty big hole that we'd be in. Oh, we can't even do that with our level of devotion at center. It's just simply not possible. So we have to bring our level of devotion up. And how much do we need for that? About 300? Okay. So what we're hoping for right now is that we get a wife roll that rolls us up some gold. And then we use that gold to go on a pilgrimage. That would be the concept. We're working on our control level over here in this county. We're not getting very much from the county at the moment, but that will eventually change. Now, it looks like Asturias' war did not instantly damage, or did not instantly go away. Can you abduct people? The answer to that is yes, but not right now. Like, if you go in here into the hostel, or actually, we can abduct people. Oh, is that a struggle thing? Hang on. Because that is usually... You usually have to be in Kidnapper. Enables the abduct scheme. So that is definitely interesting. Why is that enabled? Seems like I saw something about that. It might have been in the culture or the religion somewhere. If we look in the culture here, hit and run tactics, blah, blah, blah. If we look in the religion... Something is enabling that. Under most circumstances, that's not currently possible. You have to go down the abduct tree. But we can do that. So that's actually interesting. That is a good good call out there. So we could hypothetically abduct this guy. Well, it's not actually showing up here. We can only abduct adults? Is that what's going on here? It seems to be the case. Interesting. Only landed adults. So perhaps only struggle members. We can only abduct struggle members, maybe? Like people who are involved in the struggle. I'm guessing that's what's happening here. Culture effects... Faith effects, other effects. Yes, unlocks the abduct scheme against involved rulers. Okay, so we can only abduct involved rulers. Sounds good. So there's not a lot that we can do with that under most circumstances. Especially when you consider that our odds are going to be incredibly low. And we would have to pay a lot of gold for that to happen. For the time being, we're not really going to work on that. What just happened here? This happened. Okay, so defending against Asturias. That's not different, is it? Oh, Al-Andalus is not fighting Asturias now. So Al-Andalus's fights are over. That's good to know. But look at this. These guys became independent, and these guys also became independent. So that opens up some opportunities for us, potentially, here in a bit. That said, I absolutely want to get the Duchy of Castile put together. That's going to be fairly important. And getting an economy going is going to be complicated here. That's for sure. Which is one of the reasons why we're hoping for free gold rolls from our wife. That would definitely be a good thing to have. We can get ourselves up to 5 domain limit, so we can hold all of these ourselves. Of course, if we start building castles in some of these locations, like, well, yes, this is a location we would be able to build a castle in. This is also a location we'd be able to build a castle in. So this duchy would end up wanting 7 domain limit. Sure. For this duchy alone. And then if we were to have a secondary duchy, like, I don't know, maybe this might actually not be a bad one, Leon. This would probably be a better one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 counties there. That'd be a pretty good economic duchy. That would end up requiring if you wanted to hold all of that personally, that would end up requiring a force limit of, or rather a domain limit of 13. That's not so bad. That really isn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we'd probably want one of these. We'd probably want these 2 duchies to be our capital duchies, all things considered. But that would be insane force limit, or not. I keep saying force limit. Insane domain limit. But I kind of doubt we'll get that far to structure the realm in such a way. But let's just see what we've got available here. So we need to get our level of devotion up. We need to get our monthly income. Well, we don't really need that up per se. I'd love to attack this gentleman. Sadly, we're lacking in piety for, like, everything. Now, Asturias might be an interesting target to go for. This is actually this is the same king. He's just in a different outfit, I think. Yeah, that's the case. They're currently at 1,100 troops. And they do have allies as well. So hypothetically, we're not going to do this. But if we were going to do a struggle clash here, that's painful. But we could maybe bring this guy in. No, I think because of the religion hostility. We consider Catholicism astray, which is okay. Ashari we consider evil, and they consider us evil. So I think we can't get help from these guys. So what we would probably want to do is leverage Asturias into Al-Andalus, is my guess here. Could you show the kingdom view? Yeah, this is, you mean the de jure kingdom view? This is the de jure kingdom view here. You've got Castile up here. You've got Navarra here, Al-Andalus, Valencia, Badajoz, and Galicia over here. So that is kind of awkward setups, but it's fine. I'm not generally too concerned about the kingdom, the kingdom setup, because we tend to get the Empire fairly quickly. I mean, the Empire is more important, obviously, but everyone just knows it's just Hispania, so no real problem there. The kingdom view is a little awkward, for sure. But these are the duchies we definitely want to go for. We're not really in a position to do that at this time. There's multiple guys over here I really want to declare war on. That said, fabricating claims is something we should probably do. So we can start fabricating down here, because fabricating claims costs prestige for us rather than gold. So once that's done, that will happen, and then we'll have a claim on the province that I believe we can press with prestige. Although, because they're the same faith, it might still be piety. If it is, then we'll see. We'll see what's cheaper. So either way, it might cost us piety, but one might cost less than the other. And awkwardness would ensue. So yeah, I mean, at this point, we need gold. I was really hoping that we would have some wife events by now. Sadly, that isn't happening. I mean, it's completely random, right? There's not really a way to control that, so it is what it is. No problem whatsoever there. We need piety quite badly, and to that end, we might want to consider going on a cheaper pilgrimage. I was hoping there was a 75 gold option. We could just go to Santiago, and it's going to be like a 20-year cooldown. But let's see how that ends up going. It's time to depart. What is your overall opinion about CK3 1.6 so far? Well, the answer to that is... I mean, generally I really like flavor packs. I think that they add a lot to regions, and I really like playing inside of flavor packs. This feels like a bigger flavor pack than usual. And I think that's great. I'm really happy about that. We could become sympathetic to heathens for domain taxes of different faith. I mean, all of our domain is our own faith, so that doesn't actually matter there. This doesn't actually matter currently. We probably disdain for heathens, levy reinforcement rate of same faith. I mean, that's pretty good, but we're full on our levy, so it doesn't really matter what we take here, but I think this one is ultimately better. There we go. But yeah, overall, as far as my opinion about 1.6 goes, I mean, I haven't found anything that I don't like about it yet. I just overall really like flavor packs and creating these sorts of like microcosms within the world. I think that that's really neat. We can get ourselves a new stewardship perk here. Golden obligations might not be bad. I would love to get down to It Is My Domain. That would be really, really good. So that's going to be what we're going to aim for. We have arrived and gained 250 piety. Wonderful. We're gaining 0.08 per month. And that's because we're vengeful and cynical. It's good to be home. So we are now home. And it's going to take us a really long time to get that last 44 devotion. Unless we get an event. So we could be awed by beauty here. For minus 25% stress gain. We can invest in music, which we really can't do. Or we could get an aversion to joy. I don't think that's useful either. We can just be awed by beauty here. That's okay. We're kind of dependent right now on events to make things happen. Because we have to get out of this level of devotion to actually declare. Yes, we have enough piety at this point to declare on, say, this lady here. We absolutely could do this, but we are not allowed to declare this war because we have to not be a sinner anymore. So we need to bring our piety up. One thing that we might be able to do that, does increasing his opinion increase piety? I don't think it does. However, he is fabricating a claim instead of doing religious relations. So after he's done fabricating that, we'll put him back on religious relations and just make our way up. I do want to see what the differential is between the good old fabricate CB and a regular CB. Boy, Asturias is... Hang on. They're winning their war. But they're very low on troops right now. They're still high enough that I wouldn't declare this. He's now a sinner too. Hilarious. Iberian Struggle catalyst triggered. Okay. Progress towards hostility phase. Ah. He grabbed this. Okay, so we're back to working on our piety then. Now that happened previously, but he ended up grabbing this instead. Now that's not a war. He must have had them swear fealty, is my guess. Now, we can't ask any of these people to swear fealty. Purchase truce. Wait, who is this? This guy wants to buy a truce from us for 50 gold. For 10 years. Uh-huh. 50 gold is hard to turn down. But that said, we can go after these guys. What are the odds that we're going to be able to attack this guy, or all three of these, rather, within 10 years? Why is this showing up as a vassal? That's a little weird. This is us. But okay, sure. I guess we're our own vassal? I don't know. I'm tempted to accept this. It's a 10-year truce. But I mean, it's going to take a long time before we're no longer a sinner anyway. So that's okay. Now, why did this guy actually stop working? Weren't we fabricating on this realm here? I think we were. I don't know. That's a little weird. We can construct a building if we wanted to. Just military tents. I don't think that's necessary at this time. I absolutely do want to attack someone else. We want to get to our domain limit. That's a pretty high priority. That said, if we get a good opportunity to attack Asturias, that will be absolutely what we want to do. But he just ended his war and annexed Portugal. So that is not going to be something... Okay, so that's a thing that happened. Asturias is now officially the big boy. We're going to start befriending him if we can. Yeah, we're going to start working on, well, that's 0% chance. Maybe just sway? 20% chance? Do it. We're going to start working on that. We don't really want Asturias to attack us, ideally. He is currently attacking down over here. Wait, is he assisting Navarra? No, he's just attacking through here. Okay. Well, that's fine for now. If we look at the duchy title here, we want to get Castile. That is our current primary objective. And we've got plenty of piety. We need to get our piety up a little bit higher, specifically so that we can get back into dutiful. We need about 26 more, and that'll take a little while to do. Like, I mean, we're getting 0.64 per month, so it'll take a couple years. So that's fine. We're building up our cash as well. And that's good too. We absolutely want to start working on some economy here. Like, even just as farms and fields for the extra 0.5 gold per month would be huge. Absolutely huge for us. Asturias is winning their war, and we expect them to win it. That's a clash CB. What exactly? Oh, that's just like a struggle clash. So they're just going to take the bordering provinces, I think. I'm fairly certain that's how that's going to work. Sounds good to me. But yeah, we absolutely want to start getting some taxes rolling in. We're going to need barracks and military camps here as well, of course. But spending 75 gold or spending 100 piety here. Ooh. We could gain 100 piety. So we don't need piety right now. We need devotion. Those are different things. Piety is devotion, but devotion is not piety, if that makes any sense. I know it doesn't. If we lose the piety here, we don't lose devotion, is my point. So I think we're going to spend 100 piety instead of gold. I don't like that choice, but we're going to have to do it, I think. Because that's a bit of a yikes. Absolutely. So that's okay for the time being. If we look at the status of Asturias here, yeah, they did that. This is what, peasants? Yeah, I'm not concerned about peasants. Okay, so we could compliment the King of Asturias here. He is brave, content, gregarious, a skilled tactician. Okay. We could go with, like, his youthful vigor. He doesn't seem from these traits to be tremendously religious. That doesn't mean he isn't. He might still like the unshakable faith in God. But I think we're going to go with the youthful vigor here. What did he think? He wasn't happy. He doesn't like being youthful and vigorous. Okay, good. Good to know. So our control over here is coming up nicely. We're going to have our level of devotion very soon here. And we're going to be able to declare on not this guy, but like any of these. Rather, either of these. And that's going to cost 150. So we don't have enough for the other one just yet. We do get a Stewardship Lifestyle perk here. We take It Is My Domain. And immediately, we need to start extorting subjects. But we have no vassals of count rank or higher. We could create one. Alternatively, I mean, it's so valuable, right? We really do need that. So we need to, like, conquer this county here and hand this out to another count. Oh, we do have the claim here. Am I dumb? I believe I'm dumb. This is prestige. 50 prestige is super solid. So with that in mind, we keep our level of devotion coming up until we reach the next level. And then we're going to work on making claims. Wonderful. This is absolutely great. We do this. Too bad you lost that cheese. Surely you would be able to befriend anyone with it. It's true. It's true. It's very smelly cheese, and everyone loves it. So we will raise all of our troops here. And we have double their troop count. So we're going to head on in. No problem. No problem whatsoever there. We didn't stack wipe them, but that's to be expected. Okay, our heir came of age. We should probably find her a spouse. So matrilineal, and I think we still go for stewardship skill. We could go for Boromir, but he's probably going to be shot in the chest by a few orcs, so we'll pass on that guy. He's also a little on the old side. We're going to go for maybe... Oh, these are very old. Okay, so if we sort like this... we could go with, like, this guy, but he's landed. That's almost certainly not going to be useful. Maybe, like, this guy? I mean, he's 28. It doesn't matter that much when it's a male spouse, though. So this is probably okay. What was his skill at? His skill was 5. No, we're not going to go with him. Let's sort this, and I think we go for the 28-year-old here. We could. They're both lowborn, just lustful and wrathful. I mean, lustful is handy. We can go for that. That'll do. So we can get this siege done. They're actually going to walk straight back into us. That is an interesting choice. Our marshal was injured. There's nothing that we can do about that. His wound has been infected. We captured this guy's son and heir, and he's going to walk straight back into us again. A bold choice. A landed would accept matrilineal. No, a landed should not accept matrilineal. So this war is over, and we're just taking the county, but we're going to hand this out. We're not going to hold this personally, because all we want to do is grant this over to, I don't know, Lorenzo here is probably fine. He would become independent due to their rank now equaling ours. Yeah, I'm dumb. So what we need to do is we need to make a duchy title. So to that end, we will very soon have our dutiful rank. We're still like 12 points away from that. There is this peasant rabble faction, but this is okay. We'll hold this ourselves for now. We'll hand this out later. I was planning to hand it out now, and then we would be able to use it as my domain to make money. But that is, of course, not going to happen because we need to be of duchy level. So we'll hold off on that for the moment. I should have realized that before I grabbed that. Never a peasant's lot is to serve their lord, and we are going to immediately remove these peasants from living. There we go. Get out of here, you peasant. We swapped positions. Oh, that's exciting. But then they walked straight into us, and that's great. This guy wants to you know, we could probably try to do this ourselves. We decline. We don't need his help. But we could try to farm out our armies as mercenaries. That is a thing that we could do to make money. I think. We need to find somebody who is of the correct religion hostility and is at war. In order to do that. Like, we wouldn't be able to go down, like, over here and be like, oh, well, this guy's at war. Contract assistance. He's not going to accept this because he's winning the war. He outnumbers the enemy. He actually would accept this under different circumstances. So apparently that is not related to religion. Good to know. Well, we can continue to shop around for options there. For the time being, we can continue to tick forward. Definitely learning things in the start. This guy's starting to become a little powerful. So is Asturias. And Asturias we're not super happy with. At least not happy with them being powerful. Oh, we stopped increasing our control level. We should continue that. Okay, we're now ill. We can send for a physician. I'm not sure if we're going to hire one. 50 gold. Or we could pay 15. Or we could just say, you know what? We're probably going to be okay. You know what? We're probably going to be okay. We'll probably die, actually. But we'll see how that goes. Hey, we have a son. So with the son, we could potentially inherit an area. Like, for example, here. He has only daughters. His wife is 28, so he could have more male children. But we could do an arranged marriage here between our player heir and her. Now, they're not okay with it necessarily because it's patrilineal, but they're more okay with it than they would be matrilineal. And we speak the Arabic language. He's happy about that. He's not so happy about his opinion of us. I don't know that we could bridge 67. That's quite a distance. And we're probably just going to conquer him anyway. But that does open up some options on that front. This guy's still unmarried. He wouldn't accept this because he'd still be marrying down. Maybe once we become a duke, he would accept that. We'll see. Invite to activity. He wants to... Wait, is he inviting himself to our feast? I'm pretty sure he is. This is going to cost us money. Pass. He invited himself to our feast that he planned, but we're paying for. Yeah, I'm not going to do that right now. We kind of don't have the money for that. Now, we do have the money for farms and fields at this point. We are no longer ill. That's perfect. Farms and fields are incredibly efficient. So we're going to grab that. That'll bring us up to 2 gold per month. That's pretty sizable. That's a 33% income increase right now. That's a lot. That is a whole lot. So control level in this county would reduce by 20. Now, that would overcap it. So it actually reduced by 18. We'd gain 50 gold. 50 gold is pretty good. Independent farmlands also means that control growth would be a little painful. We could swap over to growing control over here, though. Or we could just get 10 free control. I think overall, this is only for 5 years. I think overall we're going to take the control for right now. We need to get these more solidly under our control, I feel like. And the crop fields will be done in about 2 years. So we're just going to start getting our economy going a little bit there. And as soon as we hit the dutiful level of devotion here, we are absolutely going to declare war on one of these guys. I'm thinking this one here, since we have a border up to the impassable terrain here. We go for Soria, and then we go here, which we're truced with this guy still. How long are we truced with that guy still? 6 more years? Okay, that's fine. There's the level of devotion, so I think we go for Soria just instantly. We struggle clash here. That costs us 150 prestige. So that's fine. We don't care about that. And we also immediately grab the fabricate claim. We no longer care that much about our piety income. So we fabricate the claim here. Wait a second. Struggle clash costed prestige. That one's piety. That one's piety. Did I declare the wrong CB? No, that's a clash. Huh. Why was it prestige against this guy? Maybe because we don't like him? I don't know. That's a little strange. Well, we could raise up our troops here, and we'll head on in as soon as we can. Which is almost instantly. He's not even bothering to raise his troops. He's just giving up. Never mind. We found his troops. He hired someone else. to help out. He hired this guy. Wait, what? Oh, I didn't even notice that. This guy right here was vassalized by this guy. I'm dumb and I didn't notice that. Hey, Asturias. His armies are currently raised because he is defending in a Reclaim Relics war. Okay, so we're going to walk away for the moment. We can't fight this force. I made a mistake here for sure. I absolutely didn't... Really? He's going to catch us here? Wow, he caught us there. I thought for sure we left in time. Well, we're going to retreat instantly as soon as we can. And people will probably offer us to come in and join the war. And if they do, we will accept it. It will put us in debt, but that'll be fine. So, hypothetically, if we were to bring in, like, I don't know, this guy, he might accept that. There's a 15% chance. We can ask him. He refused. Okay. 1080 there. Asturias would be the clear option. Actually, this guy's armies are raised. Who else could we potentially bring in? I mean, we could hire mercs, but we don't really have cash. Yeah, I should have paid closer attention to that. That's definitely a thing that I should have done. Hypothetically, if we lose this, what happens? He keeps the title. We pay him gold and prestige. That's not the worst thing. Maybe I just say, you know what? I messed up in declaring this and pay him. Pay the man. Yeah, do it. I messed up. My own fault. Cool. So we'll disband that. I don't actually care that much about the prestige. The cash is more painful. For sure. We can lawfully imprison our spy master here. It's not super useful for us. Okay, so we need cash at this point. Our chancellor is injured. We're going to get a wealth focus here pretty soon. So Hergeld is not going to be great for us. Neither is War Profiteer. But they will be a bit helpful. We're not going to be able to declare this fabrication until after we're out of debt. I am hoping that eventually we'll get a wife event, but it hasn't happened thus far. But yeah, that's the reason definitely why it costed us prestige instead of faith. That was definitely a red flag there, and I'll deal with that later on. Like we'll take that into account later for sure. So he does appreciate feats of war, I'm sure. Hey, he liked it. Fantastic. So he's now up to 13 opinion of us. I would have hired him in to come win this war for us if... Yeah, he wouldn't accept this right now. I would have hired him in to win the war for us if he was going to be a thing, right? Like, if he wasn't currently fighting this war. He's currently losing that war. I would like to offer to help him. He won't do it because he has little gold. Fair enough. So, what about this guy? He might accept. Only a 6% chance. Who's he fighting? Like, what is this actual war here? We could probably participate in that war. So we could try this. There's only a 6% chance, but we'll see. Oh, we did get additional taxes there. That pulled us out of debt. We're probably going to fail that roll. Let's see what happens there. Yeah, he refused. I'm not shocked about that. So I think that we go for this countess here immediately. And we can struggle clash her because we didn't spend our prestige previously. So that's fine. We'll go ahead and do that. And we'll raise up our troops over here. This will be absolutely no problem. That was just men-at-arms. I wanted to raise everything. Let's go ahead and raise everything. There we go. And in we go. Even, huh? Well, they're defending a river crossing. That's fair enough. I expect to actually win this. Yeah. Fantastic. So that's great. We do get a new Stewardship Lifestyle perk. What do we want to go for here? I mean, War Profiteer is actually pretty good. We'll take that. Okay. 50 gold that we would spend here. 93% chance of spending 150 prestige. That's a pass if we can help it. 100% chance of failure here. Well, we'll see what happens here. We'll let the locals handle it. We'll leave it up to chance. Recently looted. Okay. That's not great. That will, of course, hurt our taxes pretty dramatically. But for the time being, I guess it's okay. We'll finish up this siege here. And we'll get this duchy put together pretty soon here. We're going to be able to form the duchy if we had the gold after we get this county here. So that'll be fine. I'm a little salty at these guys, but we can maybe leverage Asturias against them a little later on. I don't think that's too big of a problem. Okay, so this siege will be finishing up in just 30 days. And that should be just fine. Yeah, there we go. And we'll enforce those demands. Fantastic. We'll disband those troops. And, of course, that control level will need to come up eventually. It'll take time. But we'll eventually start getting some proceeds out of that one. We are currently fabricating a claim over here because I'm not planning on doing another struggle clash for the time being. Although this would be a pretty solid struggle clash if we had the prestige and, you know, the capability of beating this guy. That's definitely something we would want as well. But yeah, we can create the Duchy of Castile at this point. That costs 212 gold. However, our crop fields just were finished there, and he's willing to pay us 10 gold for this courtier. Sure. We'll happily take 10 gold. But our crop fields finishing up means we're getting an extra half gold per month out of this, at least once our 11 dread, sure. At least once our recently looted malice goes away, here in 4 years. So that's going to be a little bit problematic there. But that's fine. We're going to get this fabrication done very, very soon. That's about 80% done. Hey, Harley, I was wondering if you'd tune into this one. So yeah, we're going to get this done very, very soon here, and I would absolutely love to go into Soria. The main problem here is 2215. I mean, our cash is low. There's no doubt about that. We need cash more than anything, and I think that's where the majority of our piety is going to start going into, is the specifically border raid CBs here. That's only prestige here. We're not going to do this right now, I think. Well, actually, what war is Asturias in? Try ransoming people for gold. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. Yep, 78 prestige there. We do have a couple of prisoners here. Are they interested in ransoming for gold? No, they aren't. So, I mean, you can, like, work on abducting other rulers. That is something that we could actually be working on. That is a good point. However, our chances here are very low, and our predicted agents are very low as well. We don't really have the gold to bribe additional agents, so that's why I haven't really been going down that route just yet. However, Asturias is losing this Reclaim Relics war. He has a 92% chance of accepting our aid. Do we think we can actually help him? I think we can. All we have to do is get war contribution, right? So let's see. What is going on here? He's got those occupied counties, and he's lost battles. We'll give it a go. We haven't tried being on this side of the contract assistance yet. He accepted. Okay, fantastic. So we can see their army over here. We're going to raise up our troops here. Now, we don't have siege weapons, obviously. Actually, we shouldn't raise them here. We should move them to here. That was just men-at-arms again. Let's not do that. I'm too used to that from the Ottomans game. Okay, in we go. So this will be our siege. 7 months left there. Now, I'd love to come over here and fight them. I don't have faith in the AI actually following us. That would be nice. That would absolutely be nice. But, I mean, we've got 6 months on this siege here. Yeah, County of Burgess is the besieger, so this is our siege, technically. This is going to end soon-ish. 5 months. That's not exactly soon. But it is sooner than ours. Unless we actually got a small breach. Oh, yeah, he has onagers, doesn't he? Yes, he does. Fascinating. What is our siege tech? Yeah, we don't have onagers. Okay. Just wanted to check that. They're split up a little bit here. However, they got reinforced. Did he bring in contract assistance? I think he did. Okay. Well, we may have to be a little bit careful with this war. Our marshal here could be this guy, for sure. Okay, so we claw this war score back. Now, the question is the AI going to stick with us? No, is the answer. Okay, so if we were to go in here, we could fight this force. These guys would pile in, and we would need the AI to help us out with that. Like, we can't actually contest this siege. And they're just chilling here. Like, they kind of can't contest the siege either, in a really awkward sort of way. But they can contest the siege if they would attach. Oh, this is interesting. That's one of those new city models there. Fascinating. That must be a unique city. That's really cool looking. I like that. So I would absolutely love to move in over this way. Yeah, you can see the enemy AI immediately start stacking together. We don't actually care about losing this war, for the record. We're just here for cash. So if we lose this war, that's not the end of the world, but we don't necessarily want to lose our troops if we can help it. So yeah, you can see they're immediately stacking together here, and we're just going to have to walk away. That's fine. But they're actually giving up on their siege. Now, we didn't get out of there. They're faster than we are, and they're going to stack wipe us. Well, that's rude. However, here's the thing. All you need is 100 war contribution. So technically, we can go home. Like, we don't need 100% war contribution based on my read of the contract assistance. If we looked at this guy here, for example, we're not a war leader. We can't call him in. But if we were to look at someone else, like this guy, we can't contract assist because presumably there's already someone else. So that's fine. We've got what we need. At this point, we're completely okay with letting him do what he's going to do. As long as they don't siege our territory, I suppose. But they don't really have a lot of reason to do that. But I believe he has to win the war for us to get paid. We can grab Hergeld, but that's really, really not helpful right now. But it's okay. Actually, you know what we should do? We should reset our perks and get these back. We didn't set these, we started with these, but if we reset these, yes, we're going to gain stress, but we can reset our perks here, and we can go all the way through, grabbing all of this, including Detailed Ledgers, Fearful Troops, Golden Aplomb, into At Any Cost, and Avaricious, like that. And we can still grab, for example, Taxman. Yeah, that's, I think, much better. Yes, our stress goes up, but that's okay. So he's off over this way, and he's going to take back this territory. Go to their capital. Yeah, that's probably a better call. That's probably what I should have done. We gain the trait Reclusive. That's okay. We can always raise up our troops again, sometime hopefully when he respawns over here, and we can go to their capital. I agree that that would be a good call. Or maybe we could raise up our troops over here. Yeah, he finishes this occupation. He's going to come fight over here. So we're just going to raise everything we've got, which isn't probably very much. Our levies are not fully reinforced, and that's probably fine. We're going to get a steward in here, and we could use another marshal too. It'll have to be this guy. That's fine. We've only got 210 troops. Is that enough to even siege this? technically no. We're going to have to wait for this to reinforce a bit. But that's fine. We'll head down over here. If we were to go here, we would not take attrition on the way. Oh, did he get captured there? Or did the war just end? The war just ended. Well, we don't actually lose too much from that, so that's okay. We could try to find someone else to assist. Hopefully someone who's, you know, a little less losing. That would be nice. I don't think there's anything really going on in Iberia right now, so we're probably just going to need to proceed. He is attempting to invite himself to our activity that we're not currently doing. Very rude. Very rude indeed. There's another daughter. Sounds good. I'd like to go after this guy. We're still truced with him, and how long will that be for? Only another 10 months. Or no, that was a different guy. This guy is 20 months. Okay. Okay, so he's currently wounded. What succession are they on? Confederate partition. He's also practicing asceticism. Good for him, but not good for him because he's losing health. But this is the core problem here. We would very much like to increase our gold. That would be ideal. I would love to be able to sell titles. I don't think we can do that either at this time. Yeah, you have to be equal to kingdom rank. It's a little weird that it lets you even take that, but that's okay. I'm not surprised about that at all. I would like to declare on this gentleman, or ideally this gentleman. He's way too strong, though. We just need to get ourselves a little bit more territory here, and then play Asturias off of this guy. We would need 100 gold to pull that off, and that would be the overall plan. Once we have this territory under, or perhaps play this guy off of Asturias, actually. Because hypothetically, if we were to declare a struggle clash against this guy, it would be like this. Even if we had this county at this point, it'd get us Molina, right? So the other option would be we declare against Asturias, and we get all of this. That's an option. We would need to get this guy on our side, though. So that's definitely a thing. Yeah, we'll have to watch for an option to be able to do something along those lines. But for now, I would definitely like to get this guy dealt with. We'll have to wait a few months to make that happen. But I feel like that's okay. So we're at 57 gold right now. We're making 2.3 per month. We can lose 48 stress. That's quite a bit of stress loss. Or we can gain 75 prestige. I mean, prestige is good. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like we don't need the prestige right now. Okay, so we can... Do we have CB on this guy? Yeah, we have a claim there. So that's solid. This is going to be the last one province for us, and we would then maybe have to go down over this way. Another thing that, of course, we should think about doing is increasing our men-at-arms. That would increase our power pretty dramatically. Unfortunately, that's somewhat expensive. This guy, what does he have for men-at-arms right now? Light footmen, light horsemen, pikemen. Well, we don't have any heavy infantry. We can't get heavy infantry. So the light footmen don't counter anything at all. The light horsemen are countered by our pikemen, so we would want probably at least one more unit of light horsemen, and the pikemen are considered spearmen. They are not countered by bowmen. So we would be able to counter some of their units. 50 piety here, or 50 prestige, or 75 prestige. I think we'll roll the dice here. I don't really care which of those we get. Both are pretty good here. Okay, we got the piety. Sounds good. So do we have anything that counters spearmen? I mean, spearmen don't have the best of stats, right? So I'm not sure we really need to counter the spearmen. No, we really kind of don't. But that's 75 gold to increase that size. That's quite a bit. This guy is challenging us to a game of chess. We'll look at that in a moment. 50 gold in exchange for a thieves guild? That's probably not worthwhile. We'll just decapitate him. It'll be fine. So at this point, I guess we could see. This guy's challenging us to a board game, a game of chess. And what do we get? He's already waiting to begin our little chess match, sat waiting with a competitive grimace writ large across his features. Why is that a different color? Okay. I was expecting a tooltip there, but none came up. We're neck and neck, though neither of us is even close to victory. So this is set up a lot like the duels, it seems like. You know, muses my opponent, I may not be much of a talker, but I'm alarmingly good at chess. Well, we do have a martial mind here. Martial is countered by intrigue in chess. So our martial is 7, and his intrigue is 8. We probably shouldn't go that route. Intrigue is countered by learning. So our intrigue is 14, his learning is 10. So that might not be a terrible way to go. And learning is countered by martial. So it's kind of a rock, paper, scissors sort of thing. Got it. Okay, so learning and martial. So which has the biggest differential between us, I guess is the question. So we've got 7 and 11. And then we've got 8 and 10. I think we go for the intrigue. You'll never see my moves coming. Our match marches on, and he's continuing with an obvious trap. We're neck and neck, though neither of us is even close to victory. You're not much of a strategist, are you? Chortles my opponent. I think we still go intrigue. I mean, all of these are the same. It's just a stat comparison, and, you know, that's probably randomized under the hood as well. So let's just continue with the intrigue as our highest stat. And his lowest stat is not quite learning, but it's very close. Like, his intrigue is his lowest stat. But he's kind of the same across the board. Just as planned. Our match marches on. He's continuing with a bumbling attempt to replicate the moves of better players. Blast it. Somehow this man seems to counter every stratagem I employ. We're neck and neck. Neither of us is even close to victory, and he's growing bored. We're just going to do some innocent whistling. Okay, he's still countering. We're neck and neck, and the game is coming to a head. And apparently he likes chess. No skulking around, no lying, just a fair game of wits. One where, well, innocent whistling. Hey, we win! All we did was whistle the whole time. I love it. So we won the match, and we could rub it in and become rivals with him. But we're not going to do that. There we go. We win the game, and we lose 12 stress. Okay, that's kind of weird. It definitely works a lot like the duel system. There's no doubt about that. Okay, so Asturias is not involved in anything at the time. Ah, Navarra is. They're in a liberty war. Do you want help? 22% chance. We'll give it a go. We'll see if they want help. They do want help. Okay. So we're going to raise up our troops, and the Liberty War is up over here. They're already heading for the capital. All we need is to contribute. So we're going to head up over this way. I'd like to maybe siege over here. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Don't go that way. Don't go that way. Okay. We're heading over this way. We're still trying to sway this guy. 75 prestige. We're going to actually take the prestige here. Our ally is coming around this direction. It looks like they are looking to fight. And if so, we should catch them here. Yes. Perfect. So we catch them here and hold them until our ally arrives. And we easily win that fight. Then we're going to come up over here. And we're going to try to chase them. We catch them here, and our ally is coming with. Perfect. We have the war contribution we need at this point, I think. We still have 0 war contribution. That's interesting. Okay. Well, we're going to come back over this way and start a siege. And that should give us the war contribution we need. I think we move faster than our ally does. At any rate, I want to check to see... We have an organizer. So we're going to use our organizer to get there first and make sure that we get the siege. Okay. So they're coming in on us. Our ally should, in theory, defend us. But I wonder if that's going to reset the siege. We don't want to lead this personally. We'll have this guy lead it. He's pretty bad at it, but... Oh, they actually caught him here. Sounds good. They actually captured him. Oh, we did get war contribution. 67%? What? I guess because we are sieging? Okay. Well, we got what we needed. We got 100 gold from it. Cool. So we'll disband our troops, and that, of course, is gold that we want to invest. But into what? That's the question now. I'm going to grab cutting cornerstones, and we are going to probably invest that into... We could go with either hunting grounds or pastoral lands. I suspect hunting grounds is better here because we get the archer buffs. If we go into here... What? No, I didn't mean to close that. If we go into the pastoral lands preview and look at this, light cavalry and heavy cavalry, it's great, right? But we don't have those. We have archers. So we're probably going to go for hunting grounds here. It's fairly cheap, and that'll be good. So that's definitely a good way to make money in this start. Absolutely. We can declare war on this guy at this time, and we will absolutely struggle clash him if we can, but we can't. But we can because we can get claims. There we go. That's an awkward way to say that, for sure. We're going to declare this, and we're going to immediately go in on him. Like, this is super free. There we go. We're still making gold with our troops up. This guy joined the fight, but that doesn't actually matter to us. He still loses here. So this is fine. Our daughter gave birth to a son. Good for her. I would also like to... Hang on a moment. Oh, right. County capital. Right. County capital. I was like, why does this have 4 building slots? But no. The answer is I'm dumb. I would love to get another farms and fields here. Hunting grounds are quite a lot cheaper. But farms and fields are still more efficient. So that's what we're going to go for. We'll siege this down. And this won't be a problem. Now they're going to come back and attack us here, which actually might be a problem because this is in hills. They're going to have the defender advantage here. That's definitely something we will have to consider. Accusations of witchcraft. We could easily take the faith here, and we'll do that. Okay, so they're coming back. They don't have numbers, but look at the troop quality here. 4 knights and 71 archers. I think that's just because their actual numbers are low. We counter their horsemen, so it should be okay. I think we'll be fine. Do we have a better leader than who we have here? Skill 10. We could pay to employ Lorenzo if we wanted to, but that's 65 gold. And that 65 gold I don't want to spend. Let's see how we roll here. This does come down to the rolls. We could win this. We could lose this. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought might end up happening here. So we're going to retreat from this as soon as we can. And we're going to fight them again, but we'll see if they will leave their hills. That's going to be the core problem here, is that they're standing in hills. Ah, but they are leaving their hills. So we're currently at 457. We're going to need to maneuver around a bit here. I'm going to head out, I think, this direction. Yes. This is fine. All we're doing right now is buying time. I'm completely happy if they come in and siege here. That is amazing if they do that. Okay, we're going to come around over like this, and we're going to let them siege for a bit. Now they're going to fight us in the plains here. I was hoping that they would maintain their siege, but this is still okay. So we're going to retreat. And we're coming down over this way. But note the number differential here. The number differential is a lot better than it was. Yeah, this is completely fine. We're going to come up over this way. They're just kind of running around aimlessly. I like it. We're going to back off over this way and not let them catch us. We don't want to let them catch us at this time. We want to continue to regenerate troops. Okay. If they're going to siege, I'm happy with it. We're just going to chill out over this way. Contract assistance, we decline. We don't actually need help here. No, go away. He's just running around in circles right now. This is good. Now, is he's just running in circles? He's just running in circles. Okay, we decline this. And do we have anybody that would be better here? Movement speed and retreat losses. It's not what we need exactly right now. We probably should have had him previously. We can put this guy in for the time being. What we need right now is to regenerate a couple of stacks here. So we can come over this way. And there we have passed them in number of troops. So now we want to move up into these hills. Now they can't attack us in the hills. So see, now they're running away. And now we're going to walk in. We will be defender in these plains. And the game thought we would win. We're not going to win. That's a good roll, but we're still not going to win. We'll bleed them a bit, and I guess we'll retreat again. I definitely expected to win that fight. However, our numbers are equal now. That's fascinating. So if he's just going to run around over here again, our main issue right now, we do have a ticking clock, and that is that the defender controls the war target. However, we need to come up over here. I expected him to lose that fight because he ran away. For the time being, we're going to come over here, and we're not going to chase him, I don't think. I think we're going to give up on fighting for the time being. What's he doing? I want to come back over here and siege, I think. But if he's just going to chill in these farms... Man, what are his men-at-arms? We counter his men-at-arms. Oh, he has 7 knights. That'll do it. But, numerical advantage. That's all that we're going for here. We're at minus 90. That's awkward. This fight, we need to turn it around. So we're going to come in over here. Surely we're going to win this time, right? Not necessarily, is the answer. Not necessarily. But he's running away. I think at this point, we're going to walk up and siege. We need to get this siege done. He is thinking about coming back over this way. He's walking in on us. Okay, we're going to walk away. We have to win a fight at this point. If we fight this, we probably don't win. Oh, that's a really awkward path. Wait a second. He's going to fight us here. We may lose this still. We're going to lose the war. Okay. Well, that's very awkward. It's just that he has more knights. We don't have access to knights, right? So, I mean, this war's over. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. We're going to pay him cash, but before we pay him cash, we're going to go into debt from this because I want to build things first. That was really awkward, mostly because of his number of knights. That said, he hasn't enforced the demands yet, which is interesting. Let's grab, I think, professional workforce for the time being. Yeah, there we go. He pressed that. That was to be expected. Honestly, I wasn't necessarily expecting this guy to come in on it, and I also wasn't expecting to roll quite like we did. It's really just the knight differential is all that was. So the problem there is we only had 5 knights. They had like 7 because they had multiple rulers. So that's not a big deal. We can actually spend piety here to work our way back up in the income. I'm actually reasonably comfortable with what happened there. Like, that's not really a problem. It was awkward, for sure. For sure. But if we're going to play that war again at some point soon, and it'll be a little bit different, that's for sure. What's going on with Asturias? They're at 1354. Okay, we're at 4.2 gold per month. Now, by the way, things have improved dramatically there, and it will continue to do so. So that will be absolutely great. It does bear noting, though, that it is about at the halfway point in this stream, so we should probably consider taking a break here pretty soon. I'm going to put a poll in the chat about whether we continue this game or whether we move on to something else for the time being. So give me a moment here, and I will create a poll. One option... Okay, let's see here. What should we do in the second half? Okay, the first option here is going to be continue this CK3 game. The second option is going to be... there's a new patch for Rogue Tech, so that's going to be an option there. Rogue Tech, new patch. There we go. Third option would be... I don't know. Something else. Suggest it. Okay, so we'll go with that for now. There's just the three options, but I'm going to take a... Actually, can I delete this option? Yeah, I can. Okay, perfect. I accidentally created a fourth option there. I'm going to go ahead and take a break. I'll be back in about 10 minutes, and when I come back, we will take a look at this poll and see what you guys think about getting that done for the moment. There we go. There's the poll. I'll be back in a bit.